Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins with a narrative about how drug misuse harms Chinese people. Narcotics are synonymous with the Golden Triangle, which connects Thailand, Myanmar, and Laos, because the area has long been a sanctuary for outlaws and dealers. As a result, the Golden Triangle has become a drug empire. The Mekong River, which connects three countries for supplies, then becomes an ideal path for drugs from the Golden Triangle to reach China. The Golden Triangle is now renowned as the Hell's Gate of the South. In 2011, two Chinese commercial vessels are going across the Mekong River in the Golden Triangle waters. A man sees four boats going towards their ship, to attack them as they journey. Meanwhile, in Beijing, the Chinese Prime Minister receives an update on the Mekong River situation. Thailand, on the other side, intercepts two Chinese cargo ships on the Mekong River. The Thai military officer informs the reporters that they exchanged fire with 10 Chinese fishermen, after discovering drugs on their vessel. However, while Thai police are in contact with the Chinese military, they are unable to intervene in the case, because the Thai military is in possession of the evidence, and is currently conducting the investigation. As a result, the minister assigns Captain Gao Gang to command a team of elite narcotics agents, in their investigation into the deaths. 2 days later, a reporter informs that the 13 Chinese sailor victims are crew members, as confirmed by the Thai military. Meanwhile, Gao discusses the crime scene on the Mekong River with the minister. The bullet hole distribution and trajectories, he claims, congregated around the same place, confirming the rounds were fired stationary. He also mentions discovering bullet scratches on a metal panel on one of the spacecraft. To the minister's surprise, the Chinese military official also says that 2 weeks before the shooting, his intelligence detected an ambush of a narcotics sale, with around 900,000 pills confiscated from Na Car's men. As the minister travels down the corridor, he learns from a military commander that Na Car is a drug kingpin from Myanmar, who is a dual citizen of Thailand and Laos. Na Car is a wild and arrogant addict, who succeeds former boss Kun Sa. While the minister is listening, the military commander claims Na Car oppresses the lesser tribes, turning children into soldiers and using substances to control them. Following the military officer's words, the minister expresses a desire to collaborate with Laos, Burma and Thailand, to boost security along the Mekong River, but no agreement is reached. So despite the violence and savagery in the case, the minister begs for cooperative patrols to be resumed, in order to clear their fishermen's names. The minister and his men arrive at the Ministry of Public Security for the joint meeting. The minister emphasizes the conference's goal is to go beyond geographical barriers, and allow Chinese officers to probe the three countries, in order to catch their common target. He also mentions a Thai witness named Walla, who confessed to being framed by the Golden Triangle kingpin, Na Car. Following the conference, the four nations declare the formation of a joint operation task force, to apprehend the perpetrator of the murders of 13 Chinese fishermen. The task force of the four nations will then begin. Police and military officers from Laos, Myanmar, Thailand and China apprehend dealers in their respective nations. Meanwhile, Na Car discovers that China is causing the other three nations to take action. Gao, on the other hand, begins his quest. He meets Fang Znu, the chief of Chifu Intel, upon his arrival from the highlands of northern Thailand, and notices a picture of three individuals, who form the backbone of Na Car's group on Fang's research wall. Fang claims that Na assigns their responsibilities and explains the suspects' positions. Fang claims the area is no man's land, a haven for crooks, and abruptly mentions Puja holding Na Car's man, Yan Tong Fa. He indicates that if they extract Tong Fa, they will have Na's leads. Puja is one of the Special Region's 5 kingpins, the most powerful after Na Car. Following that, Fang informs Gao that he has already put a mole at Puja's position, and Gao has only 15 minutes to execute the assignment, who calls a conference with his soldiers to plot their operation. Gao arrives in the district later at night. As he walks, he receives word from one of his guys that the truck has arrived. So he dashes toward Tuong Fa's location, only to discover that the target has vanished. As a result, he radios Aphrodite to let Bingo in, and as Bingo runs towards him, he radios Poseidon to stick to the plan. Meanwhile, Na's men have arrived in the district to assassinate Tuong Fa. Gao, on the other hand, first locates Tuong Fa, with the help of Bingo. As soon as Gao arrives at the area, he radios Panoptes to jam their signals, and seizes Tuong Fa. Following that, his men act quickly, while Gao grabs Tuong Fa, and Bingo barks as he notices two of Puja's men approaching them. As a result, Gao orders Bingo to assault them. Unfortunately, just as his men are preparing to support him, one of Puja's men notices Gao. Panoptes advises Gao to escape via the rooftop instead. Then he radios Aphrodite to pick up Gao, when one of Na's men, Ongsa, notices her driving a car near Gao's position. Meanwhile, Gao finally makes it to the rooftop, and slides down with Tuang Fa, to escape while his men fight Puja's men. Poseidon radios his comrade for assistance. As a result, his colleague radios their leader, to request authorization for the bulls to strike. Fortunately, Gao and his men are able to flee, while Aphrodite drives Gao and Tuang Fa to her car. Ongsa, on the other hand, blasts their vehicle with a missile launcher. Fortunately, Aphrodite manages the car, while Gao shoots back at Ongsa. But then Ongsa shoots again, and Tuang Fa is thrown out of the car, and killed. When Gao strikes Ongsa's driver, Ongsa flees instantly. Fang later erupts in wrath, as his informant is revealed. He believes Gao should have retreated, because Gao must do things like him. But Gao blames Fang, and informs him that he is in charge of intel, while Gao makes the decisions. So Fang advises that if they work together, Gao should follow Fang's guidance. Fang and Gao then drive to the train station. Gao notices Puja and his men at the railway station, as Fang enters to give his informant, Gong Chai, some cash. So Gao goes inside to inform Fang. However, when Fang finally provides the money, Gong Chai seeks assistance, and informs Fang that Puja's men are already aware of his location. Fang snatches Gong Chai's arms, and sprints through the mob, only to be caught by Puja and his men. When Gao phones Fang, Fang orders him to keep Gong Chai safe while he handles Puja. Fang dashes to distract Puja and his men from apprehending Gong Chai. Gao, on the other hand, rushes toward Gong Chai's location to protect him. As Fang runs, he abruptly removes his wig and artificial beard, to avoid being recognized by Puja and his men. Fortunately, Fang escapes Puja's men, and Gao successfully shields Gong Chai from Puja's men. Fang eventually drives to Gao's location, who compliments Fang on his appearance as he enters the car. The next day, Fang and Gao discover Na's new leader. While they are listening to the report, a Chinese officer informs them that Na has manufactured substances using raw components purchased through an intermediary. Zhang Dun, a Chinese medicine dealer from China, is his supplier's name. Zhang, on the other hand, is already in their custody in Sichuan. Fang gets another report about Pierre, the guy who looks after Na's middleman, Mr. Czar. Following that, the Chinese officer informs Gao and Fang that he will put up a show to capture Pierre. After a while, Zhang phones Pierre, and informs him that he has a new partner to distribute his goods. Fang disguises himself again, after enticing Pierre to meet him at the Prince's Club. Guo Xun meets them at the front entrance, and introduces them to Gao, who appears to be Mr. Qian. Following their contacts at the club, Xiaoqi and Qian board a yacht owned by Macau's Wanao Casino, where Pierre strikes a deal to work with them. Later, Fang and Pierre hear Jipong and Qian arguing, and promptly follow them. Fang suddenly understands that Jipong, whose actual name is Xing Deng, was a dealer in China 5 years ago. Jipong is responsible for the death of Fang's 10-year-old sweetheart. Meanwhile, on Yaitner Mountain in the Golden Special region, Mr. Czar calls Na to discuss Qian's reliability. Following that, Na accepts the arrangement, and assures Mr. Czar that he would keep him updated on the drop-off time and location. Later at night, Gao joins Fang in drinking, when Fang receives a call from Pierre confirming the arrangement. He informs Gao that Na Kar and Mr. Czar have accepted the bait. Following that, Gao begins questioning Fang about his girlfriend. They begin their strategy the next day. Gao delegates control of the exchange to Panoptes and Ares. Ares will assist Icarus' surveillance task, while Panoptes will instantly join Fang at the mall. While Poseidon, Aphrodite and Hermes accompany Gao to the mall, the bulls will be stationed outside to track down any targets. Pierre asks his men to leave the money on the road, while Zhang informs him that his belongings are in the 5th and 6th barrels to their right. Following that, Icarus follows the target's car, using the tracker embedded in the money. Then Icarus tells that he is going after number 4, San Chi. Following the exchange, Target 3, Yata, arrives at East Gate to meet Qian, Fang and Jipong. Aphrodite is in charge of verifying them. Meanwhile, the chief receives a signal from the tracker in the room, while listening to San Chi, who informs Psham. Panoptes, on the other hand, informs Qian that someone is speaking to Yata through the headphones, about their bargain. As a result, Panoptes summons Aphrodite to action. Ares then discovers Na's son, Nahu, on the 2nd floor. So he informs Icarus that Nahu will be their primary target. Icarus instantly travels to Psham's place, and follows him after hearing their conversation. Psham's man suddenly texts Psham that someone is following him, and it is Icarus. As a result, Psham takes another route, as Icarus pursues him. Psham's guy rushes Icarus as he unlocks the door, but Icarus kills him. Icarus then warns Ares that Psham has mysteriously vanished. As Fang and Qian strike a bargain with Jipong and Yata, Jipong discovers that Fang is disguised, but Fang quickly aims the gun at his knee below the table, indicating to him to keep silent, or else he will be shot. Icarus and Ares use the tracker to follow Psham and Sanchi. As they drive, Psham notices Ares and Icarus automobiles in their rearview mirror, and immediately alerts Sanchi. Psham drops the bag containing the tracker, confirming that they are being watched. So Psham informs Nahu about the situation. Yata and Qian discover the phony transaction seconds later. All of a sudden, Yata shoots Gao while disguised as Qian, while the others pursue to shoot. The mayhem then ensues in the mall when Poseidon and Aphrodite apprehend Nahu. When Poseidon is ready to capture Nahu, a member of Na's crew fires at him. But Gao saves Poseidon immediately, shooting the youngster back. Nahu tries to flee by driving the car, but Gao and Bingo stop him just in time, as the police arrive and enter the mall. Fang, on the other hand, misses Jipong because of the cops. Following that, Gao receives a call from their chief, informing him that the child is stable, but that Poseidon's leg can no longer be saved. Meanwhile, Psham requests that Na Kar leave the Golden Triangle, but he refuses. Phao and gang bind Yata to the chopper, as it flies through the sky, forcing Yata to reveal information about his boss, Na Kar. Gao tells Fang that they must find Nahu in the hospital before fleeing. Later, they arrive at the hospital, and witness Jipong and Nahu flee. They finally apprehend Nahu, while Fang murders Jipong. In the police station, two members of Na Kar's group detonate a device near the chief's office. Unfortunately, some of those inside are killed, and the chief is critically injured. A little later, Gao and Fang pay a visit to the chief at the hospital, and notify him that they have already captured Nahu and discovered Na's position. They prepare the military the next day. Gao describes their strategy of breaking into 4 units, and infiltrating from the south and north, to prevent Na Kar from escaping. Gao reminds the troops as he concludes the discussion, that their aim is to catch Na Kar and his associates alive. Whoever gets the target, will retreat to the rendezvous location, and utilize their transmitter to summon the helicopters for extraction. Panoptes utilizes his surveillance to check on Na's party, upon his arrival at Yatner Mountain in the Golden Special region. At the same time, Gao instructs Bingo to place the bomb-laden bag in their vicinity, in a covert manner. Fang cleans the North 1 position, and slices Na's men's necks seconds later. Then Icarus sets himself on the South 2, while the others do the rest. However, Psham and his associates learn of Gao Fang and their men's capture of Na Kar. Sanchi orders Psham to hit them immediately, but Psham refuses, preferring to let Gao and Fang battle Na first. Returning to the mission, Gao instructs Panoptes to prepare for action, while his soldiers prepare to attack the targets. Psham suddenly orders his guy to shoot one of Gao's men. Unfortunately, Na's men hear the gunshot, and grab their weapons, but Panoptes quickly ignites the gun-type devices and shoots Na's men. The rest of Gao's troops then attack. Gao orders his soldiers to hide, in order to penetrate Na Kar's domain. Na, on the other hand, throws 2 explosives at them, and flees through the secret route inside the shelter. Gao orders Fang to get their injured soldiers out of the area after the blast. Aphrodite and Icarus enter the tunnel and capture Jarwin. However, Icarus is damaged as a result of the explosion. As Na Kar attempts to flee with his troops, Fang receives word that the helicopters will depart. He inquires about North 1, only to discover that Na has fled, while Gao and Bingo pursue him. As a result, Fang instructs his man to communicate Gao's whereabouts, while the rest of the party departs the mountain. Meanwhile, Gao and Bingo arrive at the cave. Psham and his soldiers appear, as Na Kar withdraws money from the cave. Na Kar and his men safely leave the cave and run for the field. So Gao pursues them, and attacks them. Psham's men emerge nearby, and shoot Bingo, while Gao flees to apprehend Na Kar. Fang informs Gao that he's behind him, and tells him to keep running, while he shoots Psham's soldiers. So Gao takes Na Kar, who is out of breath, and places him on the boat, and powers the vehicle to flee, but Psham's men track him down, and pursue with the remaining ships as well. Finally, Gao successfully apprehends Na Kar and his associates, and hands them over to the Chinese government. Fang sacrifices himself on the Mekong River to kill Psham, colliding with his boat, causing it to explode, killing them both. After a year, the Kunming Intermediate People's Court convicts Na Kar and his associates of intentional murder, drug trafficking, kidnapping, and maritime hijacking, and condemns them to death. In memory of Bingo and Fang, Gao clears the names of Chinese fishermen who were victims of Na Kar's hijacking. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.